Hey guys, it's Danica, Dirty Dog Farm. I'm just sitting here on my front porch, enjoying my peace and quiet. Hubby ran to Lowe's, so more money out the window. Amazon just dropped off some organic insect repellent, so I just got done doing that because my pumpkins and squash are getting ate alive. Again, probably too early in the season, but they were too big, so I had to put them in. I had no choice. Anyway, I'm just sitting here reflecting on who I am, which is kind of strange. If anyone who really knows me, they never thought I would move to a farm, that I would be trying to become a prolific gardener, that I would have chickens, that I'm interested in getting a cow and a pig. And some days I don't understand who I am now. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I had a career. I had to dress up. I was on a plane Monday through Friday. Ultimately ended up losing my job due to requirements for me to travel that I wasn't willing to do. Excuse me. And that's my own personal reasons. We don't need to get into why, but I was working in hospitals, and so on top of a COVID shot and being tested, there was 100 other shots that were required to then go back into hospitals to do my job, and I wasn't doing it. So, well, there was no accommodations made for me, unfortunately. So after 10 years, I ended up walking away with nothing. And I went through a pretty bad spell. I was not in a good place. But I came out of it. Um, it still kind of hurts. Honestly, I lost a lot of my independence, and I have always, since the age of 15, been independent and on my own. Um, so it still stings a little bit, but I was just sitting here thinking in my rocking chair. Actually, I wish I had some coffee. My husband makes my coffee. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I haven't watched him make it. He just makes it for me, and he's at the store. So water it is. Um, so I just kind of wanted to reflect back on, like, how did I get here? Um, we had a house in Tampa. We moved up north when we bought this property, and let's step back for a second. My husband came to look at this property, said, I think it's really great. He showed me pictures, which, pictures don't ever do anything good or bad justice, honestly. So we bought this house pretty much blind on my end. I didn't get to see the house till like 30 days before we moved here. Um, it's in rough shape. It is, livable conditions. Obviously, if you've been following, that we're remodeling everything. But I think just being on this property and everything that's kind of going on in the world, it makes me want to be self-sufficient, like in a different way, like take back my independence, but not career-wise, if that makes sense. Um, I really, even though sweat and tears and lots of money, um, I enjoy this. I am excited for the fall now that I know that in Central Florida, now is the time to start planting. So hopefully we have an amazing abundance of fruit and veg, and we can learn how to can. I've never done that before. I mean, I've went to like a canning party, we'll call it. Just a group of friends got together with all their vegetables, and one of the women was a great canner, and so she kind of gave us a little rundown, but that was probably close to 10 years ago. So we do have canning stuff. We bought that a couple months ago when everything was on sale, just because we knew that this is the direction that we wanted to go. Oh my God, look at this. Look. This just is so crazy to me. Here it comes. I used to live in Ohio, so that wasn't weird in Ohio, but like for here, it's weird. This is a pretty major road. I'm sure you've heard a lot of background traffic noise, but when I see this horse go by, I'm just like amazed. um, Maybe the gas was too high and they decided to put their horse to use. I don't know. They're here. They come down the street probably 2 times a month or so. That's so cool that you guys got to see it. Anyway, what I was saying is that I'm really excited to be independent and, again, in a different way, but have control over my food. I went to a Walmart yesterday. That's the first time I've been to a Walmart in probably 7, 8 months, and I wish to never, ever, ever do it again, ever. Um, I needed a few things that I didn't want to, you know, pay for Amazon. I was already kind of out, so I went, and I just don't want to do it again. I don't want to rely on things like that. Typically, 99% of my time I shop at Aldi, but Walmart was close, and I was looking for something specific, so I ended up buying a bunch of other stuff that I honestly didn't need, but I waited in line for like 45 minutes just to check out, talked with a really lovely older gentleman about food crisis and what's happening and how it kind of sucks to have to still come to a grocery store, but that's the point. I'm trying not to have to do that. We have citrus trees. Hopefully, hopefully we don't die of thirst when I want some orange juice and I have to wait a couple years for my orange tree to actually produce fruit. But the point is that the main staples is what we're trying to avoid having to go to the store for. And then the lack of people willing to work or wanting to work when you're there just kind of takes you back a little bit, makes you like wonder what happened to a couple of generations. I mentioned in another video, I'm 42. I've been working since I was 15. I just don't understand the lack of people wanting to put in the hard work to stay someplace for more than 6 months at a time. Like, build some equity in your life, climb the ladder, do all those things so you can feel better about who you are. It was just kind of a shock because I've been on this farm since March, and honestly, I only leave to go to Aldi, Lowe's, or Home Depot. So it was a little bit of a kind of like a reality check for me to be standing there. Again, I went for something specific, so I'm not that mad about it, but I went for some canned goods. My husband and I recently found a couple brands that we really love. And while I'm not able to can any vegetables yet, I want to make sure that we have what we need. So I just watched a video of another woman who is doing like a can challenge, I would say. She's encouraging you to buy 5 canned goods a week, which I 100% agree with. I have always been a bulk can person. Unfortunately, when we moved here, we lost a lot of space and our cabinets aren't done. Things aren't the way they're supposed to be, but I did it anyway. So I'm stocked up on staples, corn, green beans. I found some amazing canned cabbage. I literally could eat cabbage every day of my life. And then I did buy 2 fresh at Aldi, so I'm going to put those in the pressure cooker and try to can those myself first. Let's see how that trial kind of goes. But I always buy bulk rice. I always buy bulk beans every time I leave the house. So I encourage you to do the same. But again, even though I was the person who never wanted to run out of Rotel or a stewed tomato or a can of corn, it's even more important to me now and to my family. And again, I encourage you guys to do the same. The other thing is we don't recycle here, which really bothers me. We're just out of the city limits, so they don't pick up recycling. And I have a problem with that. Like, we have tap water. We are on a well. We are apparently on an amazing aquifer here in Central Florida, so the water is supposed to be pretty amazing without being filtered. I'm just not the girl that ever drinks tap water. So we have been going through cases of bottled water like you would not believe. 100 degrees every day. I drink so much water that I should be just growing fins at any moment now, fins and gills. But I feel bad about the amount of plastic that we're using. Um, Again, the kitchen is kind of a mess. We have a refrigerator, but it's kind of in the living room garage area, so I don't have a filtered, faucet at the fridge. That's to come later. But it bothers me that I can't throw it in a blue recycling can. So we've been saving all of them. I have used them in gardening too. If you ever have like a big bucket that's pretty deep and you don't need it to be that deep, I've been using plastic bottles. I kind of just like crush them, like leave some crushed, leave some like kind of full of air, and I put them at the base of my planters, and then I fill the dirt on top of that, so I'm not using as much dirt, and I haven't had any issues. So I am trying to use it back in what I'm doing. I will sometimes cut them in half, put in some drain holes, and those will be little seed starters. Yesterday, I opened a package of mushrooms, and I was going to throw the container away, but the container is like the perfect size to start some microgreens on my sink. And so I saved it. Again, when I do things like that, I wonder how I got here. Because that would never be me before. Every glass bottle from a salad dressing or a pasta sauce, I take off the label, I recycle everything. I don't know what I'm going to do with any of it yet, but it's there. And I have stored some dried herbs in a couple of glass bottles. So they are being useful, but I might get to the point where I just have a ton of unused glass bottles. I'm not quite sure yet, but I feel bad about throwing those kind of things away when maybe I'll need it someday. I don't know. And I'm saving things that I normally would never, ever save. Again, that's why I said to my husband, I was at the sink. Well, I think I was scraping off a label of like a tin can. And I was like, who am I? And he's like, what do you mean? Just like, who am I that I'm at the sink scraping off paper from a tin can to just house the tin can in a basket, not knowing how I'm going to use it, why I need it, but that's just what I'm doing. Again, it's so weird, and if any of you really truly know me, it's just not who I was. It is who I am now. I literally save everything. Everything I think at some point can be reused. I was thinking with the tin cans that we could drill some holes in it and put it in the garden to help like reflect from the birds. Excuse me. I know a lot of people use like CDs. Hopefully most of the people watching this know what a CD is. Um, but I don't have any of those anymore. So just like something reflective that makes noise in the garden. So I was thinking maybe I could use them for that. I also saved the lid so we could put a hole in that, and if they tink together, maybe it'll distract some birds from our patch in our grove. So we'll see. I'm sure I'll figure it out eventually here, or come up with an arts and crafts project. But I just wanted to kind of come on and tell you a little bit more about me and um, the growth that I'm going through, the things that I'm doing that normally I wouldn't. I hope that you are too. I hope that you're looking a little bit more outside of the box, looking at life a little bit differently these days, and hopefully we all get through this, and maybe all of this gardening will just make us better people and a place to go for sanity and peace. But I wish you the best. Dog isn't out here, but dirty dogs have more fun. See ya.